And what I like that you said there is that Christ gave himself, right? He's not giving solutions or what I think should happen. Like, it's literally just like, here I am.
Yeah.
You know, like you said, you're not trying to solve anything. I think that's a beautiful part of it. It's like, that's what it is like, here, like, I'm giving myself to you.
Yeah. How have you either struggled or succeeded with that? Because I know, so you know how much I love the Clifton Strength Finders. Nick was very well versed in them.
Yep.
In some ways by me.
For sure.
But as far as your strengths go, like, you are just like an executor out the wazoo.
Yeah,
it's
I
like
think
your whole framework of life.
I think it's like 5 of my top 7 strengths are executing. So just I think it's purple.
Yeah.
Very heavy up top. So that's hard for me because with how I'm built, I'm used to getting things done. I'm used to figuring things out. So the idea of saying like, I can't, or like I don't know how to figure this one out, I'm just gonna give myself, like, that's really challenging, and for me it feels wrong. Like, it's not even so much as like, oh, like, I think I can do it better. I'm sure it's certainly there. For me, it's a lot part of, if I'm struggling with something, like, if I just say like, oh God, well, like, here, like, I'm just giving myself this whole situation to you, feels like, well, isn't that lazy? Like, don't I have to kind of earn my keep? Don't I need to do something to earn that? So it's hard for me to like think of like, no, you don't have to always do that. And I don't know if I can give, I guess, a personal experience with that, is like you talked about senior year, as I think really when I first started struggling with this. And of course, always going to be a work in progress. It's not something easy to just figure out, I don't think. But during that year, there was a lot of hurt, a lot of insecurity, just pain that I had that was kind of underneath, that sort of started coming to the surface. And I started having like really consistent, like, intrusive, anxious thoughts. And I get these, and something little could set it off. But like, how I was trying to approach it is like, okay, if I have this, like, I need to figure out why it doesn't need to bother me, or why this thing that is bothering, or like what I think might be a problem, why it's not. And like, anxiety, like, I think sometimes we think it's like, oh, okay, we just avoid at all costs. No, I mean, anxiety has its purpose, right?
Yeah.
I've heard it described as like an alarm, right? So like, there's a fire, it's telling you like, hey, you're in danger, you need to get out of this. And that's a good thing. But like, if the alarm is too sensitive, so like, I'm in the dorms, every time I use the toaster, the smoke alarm goes off. It could be perfect golden brown, not a speck of black on it, and it's like, beep. So in that case, it's like, okay, then that's too much. And that's sort of where I was at, where it was like, okay, my alarm was going off about the slightest things all the time. So like, what was happening is, I'm trying to put out a fire that's not there. And like, it felt very hot, but like, I would just spin in circles. And I was struck really deep in that for a while. And I remember one time being in adoration. And this is an experience, like I mentioned, like I talked to you about afterwards. But like, I was sitting there, and then I don't know what got me or motivated me to start journaling, but I really felt like God was like, here's some words that I have for you. And I would write something down, like a sentence, and then I'd sit there and look at Jesus, and I'd wait. And then maybe something else would come to me, and I'd write it down. And it felt like very personal, like God giving me words. And I remember asking you after, like, is that happen? Like, am I crazy, But like, in that, and I can look back at it, which is really great, is, what I have written is from God is like, I know that you want to fix this. I know it's hard that you don't know how to, but like, I'm not asking you to, right? Like, all I'm asking for is your heart. And like, that for me, like, hit me like, oh. And like, even later on, like, it's and it says like cast your anxieties on me, and it says, yes, Nick, that's okay. Like, you're allowed to do that. And I by no means was I like fixed then, but that's a process that I really had to work through, is to say, okay, like, these thoughts are coming in my head again. I don't have to fix them. I don't have to figure them out. I can feel them, right? I'm going to feel that, like, I'm feeling anxious, but at the end of the day, like, it's okay to not figure them out in a sense. And I'm just going to lift them up to God. And that was an important learning for me that I'm continuously working on now.
Yeah.
Yeah.